excise duty, and then we have various fees that are collected from different services. If I start with the first issue, which has to do with revenue, general revenue collected. In 2023, we collected a total revenue of 3.2 billion naira. That year, we had a target of 3.69. No, it is trillion, sorry. It is as against 3.67 trillion, sir. 3.67 trillion. So obviously in 2023, yes, sir. Sorry? We have the breakdown of the revenue performance from page 1 to 7. Sir? No, it's not indicated in this, sir. These were figures that we were given in 2023. So it is from... Okay. We have the approved budget for 2025. We have for 2024. We have for 2023. Our appropriated figures were taken from this. They are not arbitrary. I have the one for 2025 here. Apologies for that. These are also documents that were given to us from this Honorable House, and if we did not attach it, my apologies, we can always produce it, sir. $3.67 trillion in 2023. We did some analysis in 2023. The budget has where we had a shortfall was particularly on revenue collection, and that was because we had only 87% performance in 2023. We did some analysis in 2023, if I remembered. We discovered that the first half of 2023 was particularly very, very difficult for us because there was a kind of a slow pace of economic activities in the first half of the year. I remember that those were this period when we had the currency swap. I remember that it was also in the quarter of the first half when we had the national elections. Things were a little bit slow. So we had a number, and then we had foreign exchange volatility around that period. So we rebounded in the second half of the year, and we were able to cover as much as 87% of our performance in 2023. In 2024, if you just allow me, and this can be double-checked, we are giving revenue performance, except when we are asked like this, we don't go into details. We don't do granular details. If I give you an example of the import duty revenue, for example, we'll be talking about thousands of declarations from where we made that revenue. And each of them, some one container, some one package, and things like that. So if we are asked to produce the one for auctions in 2023, of course we can. But let me also make one clarification. Fees, it is not only the revenue we get from auctions that makes up the fees. There are a number of other revenue heads. For example, If we issue license, they come under fees. If we raise DN and a penalty is paid, it comes under fees. So what we get from auction will not completely account for everything that we had under fees. I just thought I should make that clarification.
No, here's what we're doing here. We're looking at revenue. How
of exports, federal government has made it a deliberate policy to make export zero-rated. So no duty is collected on exports. There may be some other charges made by some other agencies of government, but not customs, and that's why it is not reflected on our list. Thank you. My immediate understanding of rents would be those revenue that we made from our properties that we rent out. The immediate one that comes to my mind now is our hangar. We have an aviation hangar at the airports, and we've registered a company that provide hangar service to the aviation industry, and we have it in Abuja. So it was rented out, and the companies that are using it, they pay rent to us. There could be some other ones, except when I see the details, I might not be specific. For contractors, sometimes we might have if a contractor has been with us before, we don't need them to register again. So if we have new contractors that we are taking on for the first time or thereabout, the figures might be low. So it might be that year the numbers of new contractors are low. Mr. Chairman, I am not sure I have it specific registration fee, but it must be something within the realm of 5 or 10,000.
Yeah,
we've increased it to 20,000 naira.
Yes, sir. And let us take you up on that to say that there might not be new contractors.
It's different from customs license agents that we renew on a daily basis, on a yearly basis. For contractors, once we know them and they are with us and they meet other requirements, we do business with them. Thank you, sir. Presentation are remitted to government 100%. Thank you, sir. But we also do know that other agencies of government need this data for some other activities, for some other regulatory activities, the license, the appropriate license, the royalties, and things like that. So we are like, we're playing something like an agency responsibility for these other agencies. So as it is currently, we do not charge any duties on them. So if somebody but we may ask questions. Have you paid your royalty? Have you fulfilled your other obligations to other agencies of government? And this is why we are having a number of collaborations with the Ministry of Solid Minerals, with the Mining and Geological Society of Nigeria. We're getting training with them, from them to give us the capacity to be able to identify these precious metals and minerals when they are seen, when they are being exported. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had an MOU with the UNODC to train all our officers in the front line to be able to identify such products. Because we are aware of not just the revenue aspect of it, but we know that some of these activities may be linked to the work of terrorists and other transnational criminals. So we are interested in knowing more about them and knowing passengers who are traveling out of the countries with them. Thank you, sir.
So do you have a list of for those who have traveled out to Solid Minerals this year?
No, sir. But we may have list of infractions. We've had a couple of cases, infractions of, that are reported, which were also referred to other agencies of government. Yes, exactly. When we see those things, when there are doubts in our mind that this looks like precious materials and things like that, we refer them to Ministry of Solid Minerals.
So you will stop him or her from traveling, or you will seize the item, or what?
I remember the last case that was reported. What we said was that we should give him a detention notice, that the person has the right to travel, but leave the materials behind while we'll check. But if the passenger is not willing to leave the materials behind, then we have to abort the travel until we are satisfied that no law has been broken. Thank you, sir. I must say that I believe very, very strongly, I share your position on the need for synergy between two critical agencies of government, especially aviation security. I was just whispering to the MD before she left that we still need to meet and discuss outstanding issues between us. In the past, there has been some reported cases of fracas between our operatives. I was a controller at the airport, and I understand how important it is for us to have that kind of synergy. The problems we've had over the years has been a case of territoriality. One agency claiming that this is where I should be, this is what I should be, and all of that. But the experience that we have with the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, that grey-listed Nigeria since 2019 has taught us a very serious lesson that all these agencies at the airport need to work together. And that has given us a very good inspiration. I reached out to all of them. I've had meetings with them, particularly with the MD Fund, who has just left. I have very, very robust working collaboration with her. Some of the issues that have created problems for us in the past are now forgotten, and I can give some instances. The issue of scanners, the positioning of scanners has been a sore point in our relations before, and working under the coordination of the Office of the National Security Advisor, we've been able to agree where the right positioning of the scanners should be. Currency declaration is a very important issue in the determination of whether a country should be on the grey list or not. We've been able to work together to put signages, which the previous MD of FAN said we should not. We've been able to put currency declaration desks in places where, they are strategic enough. So in summary, not at that ideal place where it should be yet, but I can confidently tell you that it is not as bad as it used to be. It's getting increasingly better, and the removal of Nigeria from the grey list, the FATF grey list, is an indication towards the fact that we are no longer working at cross, we're no longer working at each other's throat. We're working together. We're having the synergy to achieve common national objectives.
Can we go to 2024?
Revenues are on page 1 to 7. Our target for 2024 was 5.079 trillion. Everything on question 1, it's on pages 1 to 7. For 2024, it is on page 2. It's on page 3, sir. So our target was 5.079 trillion. Our revenue for 2024 was 6.1 trillion. The details are as provided. The appropriation was 5.079 trillion. Well, Thank you. Thank you. There were in...
Advance of what happened in 2023.
Yes, sir. 2024 President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken fully over. There are a number of economic policies that have been enunciated and has taken root by 2024. And we have really started the implementation of this. The most important of this is the fact that we had moved closer towards the era of paperless customs. Our digitalization has taken full flight, and we are taking over the implementation towards the end of 2024. We've taken over the implementation of import and export clearances from the former service provider in 2024. We also took a number of actions in 2023 which have started to produce results in 2024. One of them was the approval that we got to decongest the ports. So containers that were old in the ports and things like that were removed, and then we had a better space for operation in 2024. We also have an approval from the President to take a second look at vehicles that were imported into the country that did not pay duty. They find their ways into the country, they were smuggled for so many years, and we got approval that we can open a special window for them. We had anticipated $500 billion, but at the end of the exercise, we made about 325 billion naira in 2024. So these were some of the reasons. But we should also remember that our target was almost more than doubled from what we had in 2023. So we strategized and said we really need to put in more effort and ensure that we doubled what we did in 2023. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I kind of like
the journey of the Nigeria Customs Service has started. It has been on course, but it has not been managed directly by the customs. It's been concessioned to a number of service providers. And as at 2019, the thresholds that you have talked about, what was projected was that the automation project, which was run on build, operate, own, and transfer basis, should have reverted to the Nigeria Customs Service to run it by themselves. In the course of that automation, we had recruited a number of officers who have IT backgrounds so that they will be the ones that we inherit and operate those systems. We had major recruitment exercises of young graduates who would do that. However, by 2019, we've not taken over. By my reckoning, most of the things that will form the bedrock of an automated, a modern customs service had been achieved. So in terms of automation, the transmission of, if you start the clearance process from the very beginning, and I'm sure my chairman knows all of this, you start by doing all those pre-arrival documentations. They have been 100% migrated into the automation space. Payment of customs duty has been automated. Transmission of manifest has been automated. Declaration itself has been automated. When release is done by customs and they send it to terminal operator, it has been automated. So in terms of percentage in that, I would say we've done something in the region of 60–70%. But then in any automated environment where you will be working with other agencies, where you'll be working with other stakeholders, you cannot operate as an island. You have to interface with all of those people. So if you are at 60–70% and all the other stakeholders that you are going to work with are not matching up, there is a problem. So because of that, our service providers had excuse to say, look, they are not there yet. And so that also continued for another 3, 4, 5 years. But I've been watching all of this, and I have institutional memories, and I do know that what we needed to get to, the end of the journey wasn't as difficult as that. So by the time I became CG, I made it a point of duty that we must exit those previous 6.5 trillion.
2026, what are you looking at?
Well, in 2026, we're still having conversations with under the NTEF framework, but the figures we have been given is 8 point.
8 or 11? 11, not 8.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. 11 trillion, yes, but we are still having some discussions around the 11. And when I mention this, I'm sure that you are familiar with the fact.
What do you do if you make 12?
We rather want to make 13. But if you permit me to explain that there is still a hanging issue about the Finance Act. The aspect that says we should have 3 trillion naira from excise, addition of some products to excise, has not been done yet. The collection of duty on PSP has not been done yet. The collection of duties on telecoms has not been done yet. And we budgeted, we projected 3 trillion from these particular 3 items. So I'm saying that if we are given the go-ahead, it's been a very difficult decision to take. Reusable plastic, that's the PSP. And then excise on some bicarbonated products, soft drinks and all of that. And then the third one, telecoms products, recharge cards and all that. It's been suspended. It was the first decision that was taken by this administration. I mean, reacting to complaints that were raised. And but every year, we've been putting it in the budget. And our explanation has been that if the fiscal policy remains the same, that if collection of duty is suspended on this, then we should not project revenue on those heads.
So you mean non-collection of DGC?
Yes, sir.
These 3 items?
Yes, these are new items that have not been there before, sir.
I account for about 3 trillion.
Yes, that's the projection.
Because
Yes, that's the projection, sir.
have you made your case to the president?
We don't make a case to the president on a policy. It's a policy is handed down to us to implement this.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Don't worry. We'll write our own small report.
They are enforcement officers. We launched a special operation specifically because we felt that the maximum benefits that we could take from the gains of the removal of fuel subsidy was to ensure that we do not allow our fuel to be smuggled to neighboring countries. And so we had an approval to conduct a special operations. Operation Whirlwind it was meant to be a short-term operation, but just like you said, that problem has not gone yet. And the problem has not gone because the price of fuel in our neighboring country is still more expensive than what we have in Nigeria. So the arbitrage provides a kind of incentive for smuggling. So we kept much against my wish because I felt that a task force operation should be an ad hoc intervention operation. So we still kept that unit. I even planning of reinvigorating it so that we would make more impact. But I will say from the data released by NDAP MRA, the daily outputs which they take out has reduced considerably, especially those ones that are going to the border areas, because we took very active interest in those particular ones to ensure that we made them. We still have some problem areas. Adamawa, Kwara, Borno, some parts of Kebbi are still problematic for us. But I can promise the committee that we'll do our best. We will redouble our efforts. We will rejig the operations of the special operation that we launched to ensure that we make more of the seizures of this product.